Welcome to One Thing Tech. Today we're talking about listing landing pages that you can create and customize right within Command. Those of you who have taken more videos for your virtual tours, those of you who have hired photographers for Matterport or are doing 3D scans yourself, may find that you need new ways to deliver this content to the public, to your prospective clients, to other agents. And there's not always a really good way. Well, you've got a way that you can do it for free and within just a few minutes. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to share my screen. You can see, I'll show you first the finished product. Today, we're going to look at just a few pieces. Know this, it's fully customizable. So if you want to add additional widgets, boxes, more content, if you want less content or different content, that is your prerogative. You can customize this any way that you'd like. I'll show you how to take this content that we're looking at right here and to replicate it very easily in a way that you can go back and customize it, change the content. You can duplicate the site and make another one just like it. So you can see here, I've got a property address at the top. I've got a call to action, take a 3D virtual tour below. This right here is a video. This is a very short video. It's a teaser video for a Matterport tour that I've created for the property. But you can make this an entire virtual tour. You can make this a hosted virtual tour. So if you want to do an entire walkthrough where it's you, you can make a TV show, record it, put it up on YouTube, create a link right here. You've got another content block right here. This right here is a custom piece. It may not be as easy to understand how to create this, but it's very simple. So if you do have a Matterport tour that you want to upload, you can then roll these in and include it any which way that you like. Okay. From the same interface, we can go full screen. We can experience the entire space, jump into the outdoor 360 spaces. And if we wish to end that tour, once this interface is no longer frozen, we can exit full screen. It pulls us right back. We're still in the exact same website. So many times you'll host a Matterport tour, you click into it, it takes you into a separate tab. This is the intention of keeping people in your content, keep them on your page, give them a call to action and a reason to engage with you. Right below that, we've got a very nice entire listing capture. So the details about the listing, we've got the property details, we've got a full photo gallery in a slideshow format. Runs on a carousel. If you leave it alone, it'll cycle through these images automatically. It's got the listing details here. It's got a map where it's located. Then I've included a neighborhood snapshot. So you can zoom around on a map if you wish, drag it around. You can see the statistics below it. It'll show you sold stats. Please note this, not every neighborhood will have sold stats. Some neighborhoods will, some neighborhoods won't. I still think it's a really useful tool. Even if it shows certain things are incomplete and they don't have all the data. The active stats should be accurate. It has a contact capture card. And then at the bottom, we've got our branding information. It starts with branding at the top. It ends with branding at the bottom because this is your website and it should be very easy for you to make a custom page. So let's dive in and look at how to make that. If we're in Command, down at the bottom left, we've got a tab that says Consumer. When we hit that, the first thing we pop up, now this is the same interface that we use to customize and launch our individual agent site. In this case, we're going to be making an individual page instead. This landing page is going to live outside of our agent site. It'll have its own URL, and these URLs you can see right here all the way down. You can note which ones are drafts, and you can see which ones are live. Those that are live, the page that we just looked at, I can come here and turn it off. Oh, you've got to hit yes, and it sets it to inactive. So if I go back to, this is the website I set up for it. It is no longer live on the internet. You can choose whether you turn these on or off. So let's create one. Up here at the top right-hand corner, we've got a button that says Create New Site. We'll click that to get started. Now, this is a choice that you've got. If you're creating a Keller Mortgage or a Keller Covered or an iBuyer page, you may want to choose to create a page on your site. If you're weaving in a blog, if you have a blog that you write on Active Rain, for instance, you might grab a widget from Active Rain, pull it in, and you can host that on your website. You would click on My Agent Site. That's not what we're doing today. Today, we're going to choose as a standalone page. So select that box and click Create Page. First thing we want to do before we move on is title this. So we're going to title this by the property address. Now, if you have a seller capture site, you can name it by that. You can make this more generic. We're looking at how to create an individual property landing page. So we're just going to title it by the home address. On the right-hand side here, we've got a number of widgets. Now, widget, I've referenced this in a couple videos past, but a widget is very simply pre-written HTML code that you can just drag and drop anywhere that you'd like. You think about your phone. Those of you who are Android users, you can have a link to an app that's just a button on your screen, or you can have an entire interactive display. If you have an entire interactive display on your phone screen, that is a widget. It is a program that is visual and interactive. It is not just a link to something, okay? So a text box would not be a widget. An interactive video would be a widget, okay? These are important because these are, again, pre-written HTML code that you can just drop onto your page and then customize after the fact. They're very easy to interact with. We'll jump back over to Command. So the first thing I want to include is a branded header. I'm going to grab this box, and you can see once you click on it, you can drag it around your screen wherever you like. I'm going to pull it right over onto the page and drop it on the page. Now this is already customized for me. That's wonderful. Some of these widgets will not be customized automatically. The next thing we saw on that landing page was a video. So I'm going to grab a video widget. I'm going to pull it over. And you can see the green bar has dropped just below that branded header. If I wish the video to come first, I can bring it back up to the top. If I make a mistake, I want this to be relocated. So I'm going to, oh, here we go, guys. Let me come back in. I've done something to break this. Don't you love that with live training? Let's go back to a standalone page. We're going to create it. I'm going to title this 2012 Prestige Cove. If you drop it in the wrong place, you can move it into the right place. Understand this. Let me take a pause for just a moment. This is going to be the case with any of these pieces you interact with. Every once in a while, it might be buggy. Simply back out, come back in. Don't get frustrated with it. Just try interacting with it a second time, and likely it will be fixed. So I'm going to take the video, drop it back in here. After that video, I had the Matterport tour. Now the Matterport tour there is not a widget for, so I'm going to show you in a moment how to drop widgets in from outside sources using a text box. So instead of looking at the widget screen, at the bottom, I've clicked Content Blocks. You're going to look for text. It has the O. I'm just going to grab the text box and drop it in below my video box. Okay. The next piece on there was a listing. So I'm going to grab the listing widget and drop it in below the text box. The next piece after that was a market snap detailing the neighborhood. So I'm going to grab the market snap and bring it to the bottom. And then after that was a contact form or a lead form. So I'll grab the lead form and drag it right over, drop it at the bottom. The last thing was agent branding. And this is not just the branded header, this is a little bit larger, and that's going to drop to the bottom right there. All right, I can see this neighborhood that I want to highlight is not in Austin. I can see the listing that I want to detail is not 300 Hilltop View. And I can see that I want to drop a video and I want to drop a Matterport tour. They're not in here yet. That's okay. The next thing we're going to do, first of all, we're going to save the landing page. We're going to save it as a draft. You're going to want to save your progress as you go along. It will, every time you save the page, it's going to pull you back out into the screen. It's not a problem. You look at the 3 dots on the right-hand side and click Edit to go back in. Now, the next portion, as we're customizing this page, it's going to save as we progress. So we won't have to click that Save Landing Page every time we make a change. We can do it when we're done customizing it at this point. Okay, so we have all of our widgets in place. At the very bottom right-hand portion of the screen, we're going to click Configure Widgets. Configure Widgets now takes us to the 6 widgets that we dropped in before. It'll allow us to enter whatever we'd like. So the header text, this could be, you could title this Unique Lakefront Opportunity. Call it whatever you like. I'm going to call this by the property address. You do have a character limit of 30 characters, so just be aware. As you type this in, you may want to go over 30. You're going to be forced to stop at 30. We're at 28, so we're good. You can edit your headshot. If you want to change the name that appears, you can do that there. Edit your phone number, email address, and your logo. Right here at the bottom is where you will save and apply. It's absolutely important that you save and apply after every widget that you're customizing. So we saved and applied. We can see at the top now, it's made the changes. I can see the new header, and I can see that it changed it to just my name instead of Seth and Jocelyn. Right here at the top is a navigation, so you can navigate between the widgets that you're editing. We're on branded header. We want to go to the next one, so we'll click that right arrow. Now is the video. I'm going to create a headline with a call to action. Check out the 3D virtual, spell it accurately. And you can type in a description. So the headline is going to show up above the video. The description is going to show up below the video. Then you've got 2 options for video source. You can simply link to a video. So if you have something hosted on YouTube, you would just take the video link, drop it in right there, and it will host that YouTube video or Vimeo, whatever source you're pulling in from. It'll host it right there on your screen. I prefer to upload the video, and so I'm going to hit Upload Video. I'm going to click here to browse. Now, if you have a window open, you can just drag and drop it right in. In this case, we have this dialog box, so I'm just going to select the video that I want. I'm going to open it. It's pulled in. Video is not updated here yet until I save and apply. It will. So now we've got a video that we can play. And from within this, as we're editing this page and creating it, we can actually test all the features that are right there on it. All right, we're done with this widget. We're going to carry on to the next one. So hit the right. Now we have a chance to, it skips right to the listing. Now I recognize that this text box is skipped right over it. It's because that's not a widget, that's a content block. We're going to edit the content block last after we complete all these widgets. So we'll come back to that. No listing is selected currently. It still shows 300 Hilltop View. I'm going to browse listings. And if you see it there, great. Otherwise, you can type in your property address. If you wish instead to search by MLS number or KWS ID, you can search there. I will tell you it's a good idea to search by MLS number. And I'll show you why. So if I search by the property address, I type in Bishop Barrel, this first one right here is from when it was a new construction home. It's not until I get to the second listing that I see here that I can see my listing that's currently active on the market. If I select this one, it's going to pull photos and it's going to pull details from the old closed sold listing from when it was first available new construction. If I simply enter the MLS ID instead, 14306774, and I search again, it's only going to show me my listing specifically right here. I think that's the valuable piece. In this case, that's not the listing I'm looking for. I'm looking for 2012 Prestige Cove. Again, I can see the new construction listing to the left. I can see my current existing listing right here to the right. You can check yourself as a listing agent and select the one that you want. Once you select it, you can choose a photo from the listing and it'll pull it in automatically, or you can drop in a custom image. So if you've created something really nice looking in Designs and you wish to use that as your cover image instead, you can choose that. It still will give you a full gallery view, that slideshow carousel that we saw a moment ago below. But your main image right here is the one that you're going to select here. I'm just going to leave it as the first one from the listing, but just know you can use a custom image instead. That's all you've got to select on your listing. We're going to save and apply. And this is really neat, folks. When we save and apply there, we're going to see that this entire widget has been customized. Everything we've seen up until now has been a small amount. This automatically pulled in all the details. It's got the square footage, bed, bath, year built. It's got the property details. It's got all the photos, all the listing details automatically. This is the beauty of a widget. You don't have to put in all the content yourself. It's programmed to do it all for you. We're done with the listing widget. We're going to skip on to the next one. We've got a market snap. This is the portion right here that we're going to put in about the neighborhood. So we're going to call this Inspiration Market Snapshot. Call this whatever you'd like. If you'd like to say neighborhood statistics, you can get creative. You must enter the postcode. When you enter the postal code, it gives you then a drop-down list of all the neighborhoods within that zip code. It is a finite list. So enter the zip code first and then do the drop-down for your neighborhood. You'll simply scroll through until you see the neighborhood that you want. And I would recommend include the neighborhood that the property's in. I'll click Inspiration. That's it. I've entered only 3 things. I'll save and apply. And then when I scroll down to this neighborhood snapshot, this is all customized for me. So I can see a map of the neighborhood. I can see the title that I put in, and then the stats pull in automatically. We'll go to the next widget. The header text, interested, let's talk. You can change that if you'd like. It's going to show just here above the lead capture box. I'm going to leave it as is and skip on to the next one. This is your agent branding. Again, you can leave it the same as you had at the top, or you can edit it to be something else. There is more information in this branding card than the branded header. You do have your office info as well. You've got your website, you've got direct and office line, you've got logos, you've just got more information here at the bottom. I didn't customize that, so I can choose to save and apply, or I can choose to do nothing. If I'm done customizing these widgets, I'm going to come back up to the top. I'll click Save Landing Page. Are you sure you want to update it? Yes, I do. At this point, it'll pull me back out, and I can see that it's still a draft. I can see the title of my page right here. And I can see that there's no existing URL because I've not yet made it public. That's a good thing because I still haven't put that Matterport tour in there. So let's go in and edit once again. So we're back into the editing view. Now, if I wish to change what I just configured in all those widgets, I can come back down here to the bottom and configure widgets again. I'm done with that. All I want to do is create this little HTML widget right here. So using this text box, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find some content to drop in there. I've got something preloaded here, so let me jump over. I'm within Matterport here. And I'm going to go to Share. Now within Matterport, you've got a chance to either just provide a link or embed. Now, I'll take a pause real quick. Whether this is YouTube or a blog, or if this is New Home Source Professional, or whatever you've got on the outside, many platforms that you use right now have content that you can share by embedding. If it says embed, That embed link is really a whole bunch of HTML code with the intention of you just copying and pasting somewhere. That's it. Well, I'm going to show you what to copy and where to paste it. We'll jump right back over. And I can see we've got some questions in the chat box. I will certainly get to those soon. So I've clicked embed. I can see at the beginning it starts with these brackets. It says iframe width. This looks like HTML code to me. It is. I'll copy it. I can see content copied. I'm going to jump back over to command. I'm going to select all this text here and then paste. That's it. It's just some code, right? Now, if I click this 3 times, that's all I did, folks. I clicked that code 3 times and it just turned into, whoop, where'd it go? I think I hit a wrong button, folks. We can do it again for those of you who missed it. I'll take this moment to again remind you, as you interact with these things, if you're watching this video on replay, don't get stressed out if you encounter something that might not be working 100%, if it's a little bit buggy. That happens from time to time with an evolving platform, and that is okay. Come back the next day, come back in an hour, exit and come back in like I just did just now. Test it again, and it's working. That's it. My Matterport widget showed up. I'm going to save landing page. Yes, update it. Now from that interface, I could have just published the page. It would be good to go. Now I like to take an extra precautionary measure and save the page and then come back into it afterward, and then I'll publish it. While this is reloading, let me jump into the chat box real quick. Christina asked if this is recorded. I'm going to drop 2 websites in here.
They've been put in there.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Yep. Yeah, so onething.tech, gocentralside.com, and ntxnmmforum.com. You guys probably won't find it there immediately today. We're a little bit backlogged in getting some of these videos up. Just know the video will be there in time. Darcy asked, can you set up a simple landing page on the agent command site with links to each standalone page? You can. So if you wanted to create a listing page and then just create a whole bunch of links to other landing pages that you've made, you could do that as well. Is there a way to center the widgets, text, etc. on the page? So if you know HTML coding, there is absolutely a way to do that. I'm not going to go over that today. That's a little bit more advanced. I'll probably lose some folks. But just know you can edit the text that is within that HTML code for the widget. My advice is until you master building these landing pages and copying and pasting widget code in, don't try to customize any of it. Build a landing page, copy and paste the widget, just get it working. Once it's working, you can then go and tweak it and see if you can move it around. You can change the size, you can change the location, you can change the board, you can change a lot of different things, how it interacts, whether or not it's interactive, if you're using a PC or a mobile or whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do. My advice is don't get fancy with it just yet, get it working, and then see if you can edit it later on. All right, so let's come back up. I can see that my content is missing again. I'm going to do that. I'm going to save the landing page. Yes, update it. There we go. This time it updated immediately. I'm going to publish this page. So at this point, the page is the way I like it. I want to make it public so I can share it out to prospective clients and to buyers of my listings. When I click publish page, it's going to say, are you sure? Because once you go past this point, it will go out to the public on the internet for anybody to be able to find. Now, don't expect that people are just going to immediately come upon it. It will take some marketing on your part to get people to this page. And yet, if you publish, when you publish, it is accessible to anybody who types in or comes across it. We do want to make it visible, so we're going to hit yes. we're done. We now have a URL. If I click that URL, it's going to take me to my live version of that landing page that I just created. With the branding at the top, the header, it's got the video. It now has the interactive Matterport, but this could be a blog or a secondary video, whatever you'd like. Again, you can enter full screen. You can exit, you're still on the exact same page. It has the full listing. It has all the photos right here, all the property details, the map. It has the neighborhood stats, the lead capture, and the branding here at the bottom. Pretty cool. All right. I'm going to show one more thing before we go, but before we do, Laura, I would like to do some more in-depth HTML class. I would probably bring in somebody who is a little bit more experienced with web design, and that's not me. And know this, folks, I know a little bit about HTML, just enough to be dangerous. And if I go in here and I edit this stuff myself, typically I break it. And so I just use what's there. Other people are experts. I just want to use the technology that we've got access to make cool looking stuff. How did you create the virtual tour, Ellen? I did that with a 3D camera and with Matterport software. Many of you have listing photographers that are offering Matterport services at this point. It's going to be a couple to a few $100s per listing, just depending on the package and what you get. I think it's a great piece to have right now and something that you can certainly encourage buyers to tour your Matterport tour before they actually enter the home. Edwina asked, how do I change the market snap to my local area? So where we typed in that the zip code and then select the specific neighborhood, you can type in any zip code and then select any neighborhood within it. Casey, is there a way to find traffic that's viewed landing pages, not lead capture, just viewing traffic numbers? You can integrate Google Analytics. We'll cover tracking more detailed stuff at a later point in time, but there are ways that you can weave in Facebook pixels, Google tracking analytics, pixel, all that type of stuff. Let's see, can you put in Bitly and shorten the link? Let's see, so Laura, I'm glad you brought that up because that's the last thing we're gonna look at today. So let's jump back over. One last thing, my favorite thing, how do you make a vanity URL, something that's attractive, that doesn't say pages.kw.com/Seth Mills/ a bunch of content that I can't remember. So I'm gonna highlight this and simply copy it. And then I'm gonna come over to GoDaddy because that's where I purchase my domains, but you could purchase your domains anywhere that you'd like, anywhere that offers forwarding. GoDaddy is great, it's inexpensive, they're reliable, and I'm gonna find where, let's just host it on 3dhometours.com. You see I'm a little bit of a URL junkie. Click Manage DNS. If you're within GoDaddy, once you're in the DNS management, we're gonna scroll down to forwarding. We're gonna add a new subdomain. I'm going to paste. So this is the pages.kw.com/all the random content. I can see that it's HTTPS. I'm going to highlight that stuff and I'm going to take it out. But then my website said HTTPS and not HTTP. So I'm going to select with the S instead. And then I'll title the subdomain. My naming convention, I just simply like to take the numbers and the address. So now this will be 2012.3d-hometours.com. I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to come over here and test it. So now if I go to 2012-3d-hometours.com, that is much more attractive. And as soon as GoDaddy chooses to update it, there we go. It's going to redirect automatically. I lose the pretty website at the top, but it doesn't matter because now I've got pretty content in front of my screen. That is it. You can do that with any of your landing pages. And I would encourage you, if you are creating landing pages for marketing purposes, get to know domain forwarding. Go purchase a custom domain, maybe 2 for different purposes, and get used to domain forwarding. Subdomain forwarding is the simplest way. That's what I just showed you. And it is very scalable. You've got limitless websites you can create with subdomain forwarding. And Bitly. Bitly works too. Bitly definitely works. I like something that looks very nice, but Bitly is very short and concise, and it's free. It's super free. Folks, thank you for tuning in. As always, you can check these out later on and join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. We'll be back on Friday. We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks, Seth.